My first JK video, and the one and only JK video I saw for the longest time, was Clubbing 101. I had a friend in college, she showed me a video of these two fob characters like going on about getting girls at a club, and I thought, what a funny play on stereotypes, because stereotypically Asians don't get girls and they're the ones up against the wall, and then these two characters are going on and on and on about not doing that and about taking the girls away from all the other ethnic groups, and like making specifically fobs too, because they had the accents. They were trying to make them like machismo, and I was like, that's a really cool spin on that stereotype, because typically a lot of Asians, I think, kind of shun that aspect of culture aside, because it's kind of, I guess, embarrassing, or it's a little touchy for a lot of Asian guys, and I think for them to really embrace it and just kind of flip it was pure genius. I was probably 6 or 7, and I was listening to the radio, and I remember thinking to myself at one point that, hey, a lot of the voices I hear, they're either white singers or they're black singers, but there's no Asian singers. And I always thought to myself, like, I think that needs to change, and I think, you know what, I think I'm gonna start singing, or I think I need to start acting. Even at that age, I already knew a lot of Asians were into school and they needed to become a certain thing, like a lawyer or a physicist or some crazy, you know, smart person, and no Asians were gonna ever tackle entertainment. At that age, I told myself, I'm gonna start doing acting lessons, and I'm gonna be a star one day. I'm gonna fill that void that needs to be filled so badly. That was my first, I think, encounter with, I guess, entertainment, or an awareness of the entertainment industry. Around that same time, my mom started taking me to like a lot of extracurricular activities outside of school, and I did piano lessons and martial arts classes, and most importantly, art classes. And I think art classes really shaped the way I went about my own career in the future. Like, I wasn't very musical, like I have no rhythm, and I'm not very athletic, and the one thing that I actually found a lot of comfort in, and I just kept doing on my own, I would always be creating, I would always be drawing, or I made my own comic books, and like I made up my own characters, and they had their own backstories, and I was really into the idea of creating a world and also just kind of illustrating it and really depicting it and bringing it to life, at least in my head. So art classes and just art in general was a very important outlet for me to, I guess, express myself. So in high school, I was placed in like AP art, and during my senior year, I started dabbling more into digital art, meaning Photoshop, and actually taking a camera and taking pictures and then altering the image digitally. And that became a new standard for me, just because as a senior in high school, I was thinking, okay, maybe graphic design might be a good outlet for me, and let's start going into more digital things. And with that, it introduced the camera to me. And once I got a hold of the camera, one thing led to the next, and I picked up a video camera, and I got a video editing software just to see what that was like, just because in art, everything is a gateway. You do one thing, it's always going to lead you to be curious to the next thing, and to the next thing, and it'll probably bring you back around into a circle. But that's the beauty of art, you know, everything is different, but it's all harmonious in terms of it works together. And I think movies are like that. Movies, it's music, visuals, performance arts, everything works together harmoniously to create one bigger product. And I think I found that in video. It made you feel something more than just a simple painting or a simple graphic design piece. There's something tangible about it with the motion and the sound, you know, and it became fuller. And that, I think, captivated me, and I knew from that moment on, okay, I think video is where it's at. So after graduating high school, I enrolled at UNT in Denton, Texas, and I majored in film. So in college, I think that was the first time that I was actually on my own. And man, that first semester was terrible. With that freedom, I didn't go to class, I didn't do anything. I stayed home. All we did was party. One thing led to the next, and I was put on academic probation within the semester. I had like a 1.4 GPA, and also Halloween night of 2006 was the first time I've ever gotten just completely obliterated. We get back to the dorm room, and as I was going into my dorm room, I puked all over my own door, and like a lot of the RAs saw that and they wrote me up, and that was my second strike. That was like just a big like red flag from my dad, and he was just like, okay, so maybe a standard for your school isn't good for you. while I was at school partying, I would still make little videos. And I guess my dad saw something in it just because I was able to self-initiate to create something. And I had these brochures sitting on my desk at one point, and they're from Full Sail, this tech school pretty much. And we were looking through the pamphlet. It's a private school, but it's, you know, it's got like some next level equipment. And then I think it took my dad maybe just a day to kind of conclude that's where I was gonna go. Even though I fucked up big time in college, I think he just saw the value of my willingness to do what I wanted to do. And that presided over any other obstacle in life. Just the willingness to act upon your interests is a quality that not a lot of people have. A lot of people grow up not knowing what they want to do, and even if they did have an idea or like an interest in something, a lot of times they're too lazy to even go about it and actually do something with it. When he told me that he was okay with me going to Full Sail, I thought I had a sigh of relief, because I was thinking, man, I fucked up my one and only chance to really do what I wanted to do. Man, if I don't fix myself with this opportunity of going to Full Sail, then, you know, I better make the best out of it, and I better probably not drink anymore and probably not smoke anymore. So once I got to Florida, I actually cleaned up my act big time. Given that second chance, it just opened my eyes to know, like, hey, you only get so many chances in life, and you fucked up your first one. Who knows if you're gonna get another one after this? And this is a much more expensive chance as well, you know, and this is given to you by the people that gave birth to you, you know, and that, I feel like, that was just, I couldn't have had a better opportunity. And so I cleaned up my act and I went for it. I had actually entered a short film into this little film festival they had at the school, and I actually won. I guess through that, my first rapper friend, he walked up to me like, hey, I loved your short film. We actually won the best song in their category, and they were like, hey, let's team up. You know, best filmmaker, best songwriters, let's collaborate. And that was the birth of my first music video project. From that point on, I made one music video, other recording artists, kids caught on. They wanted a music video, so I just started making music video after music video after music video. And pretty soon I got this reputation at the school for making music videos. Upon graduating, we moved out to LA, and that's when my friend Jayon, who I moved in with, he had actually done a music video with a guy named Wax. And so we go visit Wax, and sure enough, he has like a new album coming out, and like he needs promo videos. One thing led to the next, and we started shooting music videos with him. And one day I was hanging out with Wax. I think we're trying to plan another music video, and Wax, he had to cut that particular meeting short just because he had another film shoot to go to. And so we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then he was like, yeah, do you know them? And I was like, why would you ask me if I knew them? And he was like, JustKiddingFilms. And when I heard JustKiddingFilms, I was like, that does sound familiar, but I don't know if I know. And he was like, no, they do the accents and stuff. They shoot skits and stuff. And I was like, wait, do they have a video about clubbing and stuff? And he was like, yeah, that one. And I was like, oh, no shit. Like, my friend showed me that before in college, and like, I liked the video a lot, but I never went out of my way to find them or like learn more about them for some reason. Before I work with someone, I try my best to research as much as I can to find out what they're trying to do. And I mean, I think it helps me too as a collaborator to really figure out how to approach their projects. And so when I was reading about them on their YouTube page, it said something about teaching good things in a bad way, which is, oh, that's cool. Like, they come off as idiots on camera, but you know, there's something more to their idiocy than just being funny. Like, they had a purpose that they wanted to do. And seeing how they acted in front of the camera, I was just thinking, these guys are fearless. Like, they have all the confidence in the world in front of the camera, and I think that's what is lacking for the most part in Asian cinema. And I just thought, these guys are it. These guys are the answer. Like, they're the modern day comedy Bruce Lees of our generation. It was like a no-brainer for me to want to work with them. And then I think things went well. I think we entered like a golden era with JK in terms of a more polished branding, and also bringing me on board, I was giving them a bit of a more polished video output. I was directing, editing, shooting, graphic designing too, and I was doing a whole bunch of stuff and they were doing a whole bunch of stuff, and we're kind of getting burned out. YouTube does not stop for you to catch your breath. YouTube is a rat race, and whoever stops, you will be left in the dust. And so we decided, okay, maybe we need to find another person to facilitate some of the other responsibilities. It wasn't until the set of Car Wash, that's when I met him for the first time. And I just remember he has the value of 10 members, you know, like that's how hard he hustles. So that's when we brought Tommy on board. If there was one phrase that could sum up Tommy, it would be a human Swiss Army knife. I think on my Instagram page, I get a lot of questions from people who ask me how to become a film director. And people also ask me, oh, my parents or my brother or my sister, they won't let me pursue it, you know? And it sounds like a very daunting career path, you know? There's no guarantees in the creative field. And I mean, I sure went through a lot of, you know, ups and downs and uncertainties too. For those that are being told no, you haven't done anything to make those people that tell you no to believe in you yet. For me, had I not gone out and actually shot stuff on my own, I don't think my dad would have been like, hey, yeah, let's go to film school just because you say you want to go to film school, you know? I gave him a product, I gave him a reason to believe in me. And I feel like a lot of people are too lazy to actually take that first step in doing something that can give you access and it can give you the rite of passage to the next step, you know? So had I not done a short film with my best friends, I don't think I would have gone to film school. If I had not done a music video with Wax, I might not have met JK. And so the will to actually appreciate that journey and the will to actually act upon it and giving all your naysayers something to believe in and turning the naysayers into believers. Hey, what's up guys? Sorry for the late video. We just got back from Hawaii. I'm like 10 shades darker. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, we just got back from Hawaii and just pumped out this video. And I hope you guys have been liking the how we met videos because they're very reflective on our part and it's kind of interesting to see as we trace our steps back to the beginning. It's interesting to see how we've grown and developed as artists and more importantly as people. And after making this video, I've also realized that I don't think I've really appreciated my parents enough and I have them to thank for everything, so I like to say thank you to my parents, and I know they watch these videos, and so I'm pretty sure they'll be super happy to see themselves in the video. And yeah, and if you want to see more reflective journeys of other JK members, Gio's came out last week, so you can click over here in this box for her story. We're always teaching good things in a bad way every Sunday, and so be sure to come back next week for Tommy's story. Okay, bye.